America International Championships. Adam Hawkins from the UK, Stephane Ivanoff from France, making the trek here to Columbus, Ohio in the United States. And Adam is going to go first.
Quite a trip here for both of these players, but getting top 4 in this tournament, well worth the trip. We do see an Inkay in the active for Adam and a Trubbish for Stephane. Not bad Pokemon to start off with. But a Cynthia from Adam is not ideal.
Yeah, not the best start. And you see he used his first turn to simply retreat Inkay, and that might look like a very strange play. Putting an energy in the discard pile, though, is a very good effect when you need them in the discard pile for Malamar Psychic Recharge.
Yeah, that seems utterly pointless at first glance, but...
retreating to the same Pokemon.
Yeah, but Adam wants to put as much energy in the discard as possible to set up those Malamar with a Necrozma GX on the bench, or a Dawnwings Necrozma, or even a Mewtwo GX that we have been seeing him have some pretty good fortune with. Just something that he can Psychic Recharge to and start attacking.
Yeah, and both of these players are actually in the top 22 for championship points for the Europe rating zone. So they'll both be locked in for making day 2 of Worlds automatically, especially with this finish here at the International Championships. But this gives you an idea. These are 2 of the best players in Europe.
That is incredibly impressive. Stephane Ivanoff, 972 points before this event. And you need 400 to get just a Worlds invite. But to get that day 2, of course, you need to go above and beyond.
Yeah, and in Europe, the qualification is even different. I think it's like 350, somewhere around there.
Okay.
Maybe
so
even
a little bit less.
But yeah, it's a little bit less. And yeah, you mentioned that Stephane has quite a few championship points, but he's no Tord with over 2,000.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's not fair to compare, though.
I am consistently in awe of Tord.
Yeah.
But if you want to go check out Tord's match against Jimmy, actually, that is over on the main stream, twitch.tv/Pokemon.
That is correct. Watch both at the same time. Why not?
Now you're catching on. All right, 2-benched Zorua for Stephane.
Yeah, so he misses the turn 1 Bridget, which both players actually missed. That is the optimal turn 1 supporter for getting a bunch of basic Pokemon into play. But for Stephane, it looks like he has not really missed a beat. He has that Trubbish out there, and now a 3rd Zorua. So who needs Bridget? Just draw all your basics.
What is the ideal Pokemon to start for this Zorogarb deck?
If you have a Float Stone, I think it's actually Trubbish.
Okay.
You want to get the Float Stone onto Trubbish anyway, and then you can decide what you want to retreat into. Otherwise, there's not really a bad starter. I would say probably Kartana GX is the worst thing you could start with. But for the most part, it doesn't have any real bad starters. Like Adam's deck, if he starts with Giratina, he's probably not feeling good.
Managed to get some more energy in the discard with that Sycamore. And now hoping to hit Malamar.
Adam is aggressively playing down the Marshadow GX, having no fear of that Trubbish on the bench that could easily evolve into the Trashalanche Garbodor. Adam trying to put the pressure on early. See if he can find some way to knock out this Zorua here.
Picks up a bit more energy and a Max Elixir off the Sycamore, but no Ultra Ball, no natural copy of that Malamar. So going to have to wait a little bit longer to start using Psychic Recharge for Adam.
Yeah, not a great opening turn here, or second turn from Adam. I think he's discussed in this matchup what he wants to do, and so far he's not doing it. He really wants to prioritize getting out Mewtwo GX. That is the big card for him in this matchup. With 1 energy and Fighting Fury Belt, Mewtwo GX can actually knock out Trubbish before it gets a chance to evolve. And if your opponent does happen to get that Garbotoxin Garbodor up and running, you can use that Super Absorption attack for just 2 energy, can knock out the Garbotoxin Garbodor, because that is the key to this matchup. If Stephane can successfully lock Adam from using the Psychic Recharge with Malamar, he's going to be pretty much the favorite in this matchup.
Going to take a little bit of time to set up that lock. He does have the Trubbish with the Float Stone attached already. Needs to find that Garbotoxin Garbodor, however, doesn't have access to it just yet.
Does have a Guzma, though. Stephane understanding exactly how to play this matchup, and of course, he must have played against several Malamar decks on his way to the top 4. And he's going to draw first blood in this matchup, get the first knockout, taking down one of those precious Inkay.
Yep, Adam Hawkins, the Malamar deck in the top 4 in a sea of Zoroark builds. 3 different Zoroark builds, however. It is the Zoro Garb, of course, for Stephane, a quad Zoroark, pure Zoroark build for Tord, and then Jimmy with Zoropod.
Yeah. One of the things I love about the international championships is you start to see some cards that are not in English, they're in different languages. You see Stephane actually has the base set energy, but it's actually in French. It's quite interesting to see that double colorless energy.
That is too cool.
So Adam here is trying to put together something. I think the best thing he could have hoped for was like some crazy turn where he could go Malamar, Max Elixir, power up Marshadow, knock out the Zoroark GX. He does get the Mewtwo GX into the discard pile, which he can use with Marshadow GX's Shadow Hunt ability, but can he get enough energy into play to use any relevant attack? Looks like just going for another Inkay. If he doesn't knock out this Zoroark GX, Stephane is going to be in a dominant position. Already has Zoroark GX in play. You know, one trade can lead to another Zoroark GX, which leads to another trade, which leads to another Zoroark GX.
That is a vicious cycle.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is just the slow start that Malamar decks can occasionally get off to. But we do see 2 Psychic Energies and a Fighting Fury belt that will allow for the Marshadow to use Mewtwo GX's first attack. Actually, the second attack for 60 damage if he wants it.
Yeah, I think something's going on here. I think he used Psychic Recharge one too many times. And now it's like, oh, what?
Okay.
I couldn't attach there. Oh, accidentally discard the card from my hand. Oh, no. And it's a little bit nerve-wracking to be on the stage.
Honestly, that is very different from what we were seeing from Adam Hawkins in the first match we saw him today against Ryan Antonucci. He was very careful, counting every card that he drew off of every N, every Cynthia, trying very hard to not make any mistakes. But maybe the nerves getting to him a little bit here, playing kind of fast.
Maybe. Sometimes you think you have more Malamar than you do.
Yeah.
He's just so used to having 3 in play. And he's like, what do you mean I can't get 3 energy back?
All right, well, it still is going to be 140 damage from the Marshadow GX, copying Mewtwo GX's attack here.
Yeah. Either one does 60 damage, so we'll never know which one he picked.
Doesn't actually matter. One of them heals for 30.
Yeah.
But there's no damage.
So typically, Marshadow GX, if it doesn't get a one-hit knockout against Zoroark GX, is actually somewhat of a liability, as we do see a big Acerola there from Stephane. It only has 150 HP, so if Zoroark GX has a full bench plus a choice band, it hits for exactly 150 and knocks out Marshadow GX. The Parallel City actually limiting that, so Adam knows he's in no danger from Zoroark GX, plus he has the Fighting Fury belt to give the extra HP. So even though that might look like a very risky play, Adam knows there's a pretty low chance that Marshadow gets knocked out.
Is Marshadow the GX Pokemon with the lowest hit points?
So far, I think so, yeah. Yeah, we've had some very small Pokemon EX in the past. Jirachi EX being the smallest with just 90 HP. Then we had Shaman EX with 110 HP.
Yeah.
But most GXs are pretty big. Got to keep up with those 250 HP stage 2s.
Ah, cheese. Yeah, not really any stage 2 decks making a splash this weekend. A big difference from when Gardevoir was on top this time last year.
Yep, these stage 1 decks are too fast, and then there's basic Pokemon that are even faster. Just can't afford to evolve to a stage 2 these days. So Stephane is trying to find some way to get a knockout on this Marshadow GX. Perhaps with the Trashalanche Garbodor, he could have pulled it off, but he's going to settle for the Garbotoxin Garbodor. That will take away Marshadow's Shadow Hunt ability, so it went from being able to use any of Mewtwo GX's attack to not being able to use any attacks at all. And Adam certainly doesn't play Fighting Energy in his deck, so we're not going to see the GX attack or anything, but does find the Field Blower and gets the 3rd Psychic Energy onto Marshadow, so You could see the Psystrike GX copied from Mewtwo GX, and there we go. Stephane Zoroark GX goes down, and he's only got one left in play.
That is exactly what Adam Hawkins needed here. He only plays a pair of field blowers in his deck, but finding it at exactly the right time, able to get a key knockout. And now Stephane needs to find another tool card to attach to that Garbodor on the bench. And even then, he still needs to deal with this Marshadow, although once it can only use its actual attacks and there's no fighting energy in the deck, a lot less threatening. Yes. However, Adam also kind of, well, he's got one Malamar on the bench. He needs to find a second, but then he also needs to just continue to ensure that there is psychic energy in his discard pile. This Marshadow is holding on to quite a bit of energy right now, and if it does get knocked out, that opens up a little bit more possibility for Adam.
So even though Stephane has Zoroark GX in play, his hand is not great. It's got a Guzma. He just had to play a single Puzzle of Time and rearrange his top 3 cards. And it looked like they were good enough cards to not reshuffle the deck with Tapu Lele's Wonder Tag. He will be able to get a supporter here, but there is a pretty reasonable chance that Marshadow GX doesn't get knocked out once again.
Ultra Ball.
Oh, but never mind. That Ultra Ball is going straight for Trashalanche. And Marshadow GX does have the weakness to Psychic. So here's where we see Stephane change gears a little bit. After enough items go in the discard pile, Trashalanche starts becoming very real, very fast, and it's going to add up to 1 energy knockouts.
Only 2 of the Trashalanche Garb in the deck, but with that unit energy, he is going to be able to get the knockout on the Marshadow here and a fresh 7 cards from that Professor Sycamore off of the Tapu Lele GX. Stephane going to take his first prizes of the game, and this Garbodor is a very real threat that Adam needs to deal with immediately.
Yeah, I don't know exactly how many item cards are in Adam's discard pile, but certainly enough to be lethal. I don't know if you'll be able to knock out a Tapu Lele GX with Trashlands, for example, but anything that's got a weakness to Psychic is probably going to get knocked out.
Yeah, I don't think we've hit that 10 item card threshold just yet. It's still going to be a little bit before this Garbodor can get a knockout onto that Tapu Lele GX, but Adam Hawkins going to play it very safe here, promoting the Inkay.
Oh no.
That's not what you want to do.
Definitely not. Inkay, of course, does have that Hypnosis attack, so Adam's going to try to buy some time, hope that Stephane's Garbodor does not wake up between turns. It's never where you want to be.
Well, 50-50.
Here we go. And
it is asleep.
All right. So maybe Adam may have bought himself a turn here. I think Stephane would need to find Guzma to get that Garbodor out of the active spot. If he wants to attack this turn, has Adam successfully bought himself a turn?
Trades and finds the choice band.
Finally gets a field blower to eliminate Adam's Parallel City. So finally Stephane's bench is free. He's been constrained to 3 benched Pokemon for most of the game, and now the floodgates can open.
Still not enough to get a 1-hit knockout on that Tapu Lele GX, even if he did have the Guzma to bring it up and the double colorless for the Zoroark.
Yeah, I wonder if Stephane will Ultra Ball for Tapu Lele GX here and try to go for a Guzma. Just try to keep the pressure on, knock out the Malamar on the bench, or if he's just going to be fine getting another Zorua down. Yeah, looks through his deck. There's actually not a lot to pick from.
He would really like to have access to multiple trades, but doesn't actually have a Zoroark remaining in the deck.
I think Stephane's caught off guard a little bit here. He looks through his deck, hoping to find maybe Tapu Lele GX, but only finds a Trashalanche Garbodor and a Latios. Those are the only remaining Pokemon in his whole deck.
Not left with a whole lot to work with.
Where'd they all go?
There's a couple Zoroark in the discard, it looks like, and Kartana as well. So if Stephane were to take a GX knockout here, he doesn't have that Blade GX to finish up the game. He's got to take 2 knockouts. All right, he does have a Zoroark in hand.
Yeah, but no Zorua.
The mystery of the missing Pokemon.
And that means Adam's gambit pays off. The hypnosis is going to stick, and he's going to buy himself a turn with Inkay.
Oh, okay. Inkay putting in some work. We've seen attacking Malamars this weekend, but attacking Inkay is a bit of a new one.
Yeah.
Still, though, Adam, what's he got going for him? He can load up onto the Tapu Lele on the bench, but he only has one Psychic Recharge available right now. Needs to find a better attacker.
Yeah, better anything. And another flip. Ooh, Garbodor stays asleep for a second time. And Adam does draw Ultra Ball for the turn. Stephane opted not to attach a Choice Band to that Garbotoxin Garbodor. So he does give Adam an out here for Tapu Lele GX if there's one left in his deck. And you can see Adam looking over saying, you have a tool on there? But, yeah.
I think he prized one early on, potentially. For whatever reason, there is no Tapu Lele GX left in the deck. And Ultra Balling away Parallel City and the Necrozma GX and just getting an Inkay. Does he even have Malamar left?
Guess he's just going to try to Hypnosis until he wins.
This is turned from, the best of the best into, well, they're hitting each other with wet noodles.
And
it's
another
not
flip.
very impressive.
It's still asleep.
Oh, 3 in a row. What, a 12.5% chance? That is unlucky.
Yeah, the second one doesn't really matter because he would just Hypnosis again, but still,
Yeah.
It feels bad. And another trade, and still no way to move this Garbodor out of the active spot. Inkay successfully buying Adam 2 turns.
Inkay, MVP. But Adam still, all he did last turn was find another Inkay and attach an energy to Tapu Lele GX. What's his winning game plan here? Stephane now has another Trash Lanch Garbodor ready to go.
Ooh, it's awake.
All right.
Adam draws his 1 card for the turn.
Hopefully it's a good one.
And still no Garbotoxin. He's powering up another Inkay.
It is not a good one.
Hypnosis. Here we go. Oh.
All right.
Inkay, you tried.
Well, Adam got another Inkay on the bench, ready to go, ready to Hypnosis his way to victory.
Yeah, Stephane is hilariously low on cards. Only 4 or 5 cards
true.
left.
Is this... Could we see a Hypnosis stall tactic here? Is that a possibility?
Probably not. Stephane has 2 Puzzle of Time in his hand, so he can Guzma twice more to win the game, but
good point.
It's a good thought. Adam looks at his top card, shrugs, says, this isn't good.
I mean, it might be sort of in the back of Adam's mind, thinking, what are my paths to victory when my opponent only has a couple cards left? And so far, he's flipping a lot of tails.
Yep. Going to continue using Hypnosis one more time. And stays asleep.
Okay. Evo Soda.
Now, I think Stephane's asking his opponent how many items you got in your discard pile. If the answer is 7 or more, this game will be over. See, Stephane.
Double puzzle, finds the Guzma and the Field Blower, and that is going to be it.
Yep, looks like 8 items in the discard pile. That means Choice Band for a Trashalanch knockout on Tapu Lele GX. And yeah, Adam showing that Tapu Lele GX was in his prize cards that one turn when he went to Ultra Ball for it.
I think he would have maybe made a note of that earlier on in the game, but you know what? So much to think about in these matchups that it must have just escaped him. Bit of a rough go there for Adam Hawkins. Stephane Ivanoff going to take game number 1 with that Zoro Garb deck. And we said going into this, Stephane was a little bit favored. And here you could see that, it wasn't even really the Garbodor with Garbotoxin that did Adam Hawkins in. It was his own draws, honestly.
Yeah. Adam just didn't do much of anything the entire game. He did put up a fight. He hung around as long as he could. Inkay used Hypnosis as hard as it could, but at the end of the day, just was not enough.
It used Hypnosis so very well.
But it failed.
Yes, it did. But Adam Hawkins gets to go first this time.
Yeah, this is far from over. Best 2 out of 3 match. Losing one game means nothing. I'm sure there were plenty of times this weekend for both players. They were down 0-1 in the match and ended up winning the next 2 to come back and get a win. So not unfamiliar territory for either of these players. And I'm sure Stephane knows just as well. One game doesn't mean anything. It's not over till you win the whole match.
Absolutely. You can just as easily come back from a 1-game deficit as you can lose with a 1-game advantage.
That's right. So game 2 here. Adam will be going first, and he's going to be looking for a much better start. I do think going first gives Adam more opportunities to pull off some good plays in the early game. Gives him a chance to play a draw supporter on the first turn, and then on the second turn maybe play a Guzma.
Both Tapu Lele GX prized this time around.
Ooh.
For Adam Hawkins. That hurts. Or for Stephane, excuse me.
Yeah, well, good thing he plays 3. That's why you play 3, I guess.
Yeah. True that.
Last year, Tord Reklev actually played 4 Tapu Lele GX in his deck. That was 4 being prized was never going to happen to him.
No, he would make darn sure of that. But it is going to maybe make it a little bit tougher for Stephane to get that turn 1 Bridget, although he does play 2 of them in the deck. So not as disastrous as if it had been Adam Hawkins prizing both of his Tapu Leles. Stephane does actually have a 3rd in his list.
All right, so Adam with a much stronger start in game 2 has played 2 Mysterious Treasures, 1 to get Inkay and 1 to get that Mewtwo GX. He pointed out how important this card is in the early stages of the game. Last game really couldn't find a good spot to use it, but here he's going to get an opportunity to use his first turn to attach energy to it, and that means any Trubbish on Stephane's side is not safe on the second turn of the game.
And a full 7 cards off of the Sycamore. This is pretty much ideal here for Adam.
Looking great, and we'll see if Stephane has a follow-up. He does have Ultra Ball in hand, so he's going to be able to find that 1 Tapu Lele GX that's left and get that crucial turn 1 Bridget. Now, unfortunately for him, Adam started off with Parallel City, and that is one of the other advantages to going first. If you can slam down that stadium card before your opponent gets a chance to take a turn, situations like these are much worse. If that stadium weren't out there, we'd see Stephane play Tapu Lele GX Wonder Tag for Bridget, fill up his bench with 5 Pokemon. Here he's limited to 3, so a Bridget isn't even very good, right? You don't want to Bridget for 1 Pokemon, and especially Tapu Lele GX eating up a bench space in that scenario.
Okay, wait, no. Stephane does have 3 in his deck. It was Adam's prizes.
Oh, okay.
It was Adam's prizes. No,
Never mind.
It absolutely was Adam's prize cards. So both of Adam's Tapu Leles are prized then. Stephane has none prized.
All right. Well, Adam didn't need Tapu Lele, so.
That's good news.
Yeah. So yeah, Stephane here, where he would usually take Tapu Lele GX, we might just see him take something like another Zorua. And there it goes down on the bench. And does find a Float Stone for his Trubbish, so pretty strong start in both games. He's able to set up without using Bridget. And so far, his deck doing exactly what he wants. He probably just wants to get another Trubbish down. He'll be pretty happy with this first turn.
So far, so good. Just wants to get a repeat of last game.
An end to 6 cards for both players, and Adam's just going to be looking for a Psychic Energy and then maybe a Guzma to go after Trubbish. But really, that's all he needs on his second turn to feel good.
Yeah, retreating out the Trubbish with the Float Stone. You want that to be your Garbotoxin Garbodor, but this does give Adam Hawkins priority. If he's got an Energy and a Guzma, he can bring up that Mewtwo GX and knock out the Trubbish, and he does have it.
It is. Perfect start in game 2 for Adam Hawkins. He'll be able to use either Full Burst or that Super Absorption and get the knockout on Trubbish thanks to weakness. And that takes away a potential Garbotoxin Garbodor. He does not have enough items in his discard pile yet for Trashalanche to be a threat, and that's why Mewtwo GX is the perfect early game threat against Stephane's deck. If you can clear through the Garbotoxin Garbodor, and get your abilities for the rest of the game, you can clean up a couple Zoroark GX using the Marshadow GX and that Psychic Recharge ability from Malamar. It's a clear game plan from Adam.
He does have the capability, even though he is at a bit of a type disadvantage just looking at his main attackers, having access to those really key tech cards in this matchup could make all of the difference for him.
Yeah, and once again, Stephane is being limited by Parallel City. We saw this a bit in the first game. Still unable to find a Field Blower. He plays 3 of them. If he can clear that stadium out of the way, he can start to bench more Pokemon and get further set up.
Does look like he found the Field Blower, but I don't think he found any other basics to bench this turn.
Does he have any energy?
No. He's got double Puzzle of Time already, but no double Colorless in the discard pile. Now 2 Field Blowers, it looks like. Still no energy, though.
With no energy, that Mewtwo GX is going to go unchecked. I can't quite knock out Zoroark GX, but you never want to give your opponent a free shot at your Pokemon.
All right, 2 cards from the Puzzle of Time.
Yeah, it looks like Stephane highly valuing getting that Garbotoxin Garbodor into play. He gets back the Float Stone and has Garbotoxin in hand. So no more abilities for either player. Does Adam Hawkins have another Guzma? He does have a Field Blower.
All right. Does he have the Malamar to follow it up? He's got 1 in play already.
Actually going to put the Float Stone on Mewtwo GX.
Well, he wants to...
Yeah, he wants to save the energy. If he can't Guzma this turn, he's going to want to retreat the Mewtwo, and he would much rather have a Mewtwo GX with 2 energy than a Mewtwo with 0 energy.
Mm-hmm.
So does Adam find any other attacking Pokemon to power up on this turn? Maybe a Necrozma GX could be a decent option.
He does. Still only has...
Doesn't
just
have
a couple of the Psychic Recharge energy, though.
Yeah, only 1 Malamar in play, so he won't be able to power up and attack this turn. Might just have to settle for hitting the Zoroark GX for 40 damage, which is still fine. It sets up a knockout from a 3 energy Prismatic Burst from Necrozma GX perfectly, actually. It'll do 170 damage. So even when Mewtwo GX isn't getting a knockout, it's chipping in some damage that can definitely make a difference on the outcome of this game.
Yeah, that's totally fine, because you do need to either have that additional energy onto Necrozma GX to be able to get the knockout onto Zoroark, or soften it up with an initial attack, and here that's the goal of this turn for Adam Hawkins. And next turn, if he can find a couple more Malamar and Stephane doesn't have a tool to put on that Garbotoxin Garbodor, then Adam should be off to the races, able to accelerate several energy onto his bench. But we see Stephane with a Field Blower and a Professor Sycamore. Pretty likely that he finds a tool card here to block out abilities yet again.
And I think Stephane's got something else on his mind. There's now 5 item cards in Adam's discard pile. That means Trashalanche can knock out Mewtwo GX thanks to weakness. But he hasn't drawn the right cards yet. He needs to trade into them here.
He needs a unit energy for that Garbodor.
He also needs a Float Stone to retreat.
Doesn't look like he has either.
Yeah. Parallel City of his own, though, will force Adam to discard an Inkay on his bench.
That's okay.
Parallel
He's got
City.
2 Malamar lined up. That's good enough.
Parallel City, another interesting card that kind of went in and out of the standard format. It is obviously very powerful against decks that need to fill up their bench. There's things like Buzzbole that don't really care about having a full bench as much, but in these kinds of matchups where you're trying to get 2 or 3 Malamar out or 2 or 3 Zoroark GX out, limiting bench size by itself is really going to constrain the options your opponent has, and it's crazy how much that 1 stadium card can change the outcome of game.
Yeah, I mean, against any Zoroark variant that is looking to utilize Riotous Beating with a full bench, Parallel City means that attack is automatically going to be much less effective. So even though a lot of decks aren't running Parallel City, the ones that are finding some really good use from it.
Yeah.
Especially since Buzzwole decks aren't really running Field Blower right now either.
Nope. All right, so here's an N from Adam. He's going to shuffle in and draw 5, and Stephane will get 6 fresh cards. Adam is lining up a knockout here with Necrozma GX in Prismatic Burst, which will leave Stephane with 0 Zoroark GX in play. So Adam is trying to strike while he can and try to catch Stephane without a lot of card drawing. And this could be pretty big. See Stephane trying to do the math here, and it is enough thanks to that 40 damage from Mewtwo GX in the previous turn. Adam does get 2 prize cards, going down to 3. Right now he's in the lead, but he is in a dangerous position. If Stephane can assemble that deadly Garbotoxin plus N combo, Adam's going to have some trouble, especially with one Field Blower gone, and I think the other one in his prizes.
I think he did just count out the item cards in his discard pile. It is getting reasonably high here, so if there is an N and a unit energy, maybe this Trashland Garb can get some work done. There's the unit energy.
He's got a Choice Band as well.
And there's the N.
The Choice Band will allow him to punch through the Fighting Fury Belt.
Just how many item cards actually are in Adam Hawkins' discard?
Looks like 5. Stephane's been keeping track with that die.
Ah. That is not just precariously placed there.
Yes.
Good eye.
The 4 out there actually is, but the 5 is a helpful die.
Keep you on your toes. I like it. All right, so 100 damage from the Trashland, 130 with the Choice Band. And then, of course, weakness.
Yep.
260 damage, more than enough to knock out this Necrozma GX.
Looks like Stephane has found that Float Stone to activate Garbotoxin once again if he wants to.
Oh, he wants to. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And this might be a crucial turn in this game. Stephane has now turned the corner, gets the 2 prize knockout, and Adam needs to draw something here. I think a good start would just be a Psychic Energy. If he can use Super Absorption and knock out the Garbotoxin Garboter, go down to 2 prize cards, give himself a chance. It's probably the best he can do right now.
Luckily, he had the Cynthia off of that N to 3, so he is able to get a fresh hand here. Looking for a Psychic Energy, and then
this is huge. If he doesn't draw a Psychic Energy, he's almost completely out of the game. But it looks like he does find it, so he's still going to be in a decent spot. I don't think he's in a great spot. Mewtwo GX already has a bunch of damage on it and can easily be knocked out by Zoroark GX in the following turn. But, I mean, if he didn't get a Psychic Energy here, it was just going to be another Trash Lanch, and that was it.
Stephane just needs the double colorless to get the knockout with the Zoroark onto the Mewtwo GX.
I do see a second Malamar, so Adam setting himself up the best he can to potentially get a game-winning knockout on the following turn. He's still going to need some help. He's going to need to draw a great combination of cards, but here we see Super Absorption. Going to heal 30 damage, so it will force Stephane to get some extra benched Pokemon if he wants to ride his beating for the knockout, but he's got 2 trades available and a lot of double colorless energy.
90 damage on the Mewtwo GX. 190 hit points, so a Zoroark.
Oh, he actually has 0 trades.
Pokemon.
Garbotoxin's in effect.
Yep. It does hurt him a little bit here. He has the DCE for the Riotous Beating.
No, he actually has no... Oh, he has 1 more Pokemon in his hand. He has a Tapu Lele GX he can put down.
Okay.
I thought he was going to have to do a sad Riotous Beating for 80 and miss the knockout.
It's been so unfortunate. Really, really unfortunate. Yeah. I do wonder... Oh, I mean, well, Wonder Tag is actually shut off here, so this is just going to be a Tapu Lele for the additional 20 damage on the Riotous Beating, getting the knockout onto that Mewtwo GX.
All right, here we go. This is the big turn for Adam. In an earlier round today, we saw him in a similar situation pull off a crazy Professor Sycamore where he went Floatstone, Field Blower, Marshadow GX, and knock out a Zoroark GX for the game. We'll see if he can recreate that magic. There's the Field Blower.
There's Rescue Stretcher. Can he get Marshadow back with that?
I think he discarded it early on.
That's Marshadow.
Coming back way later in the game. He's got an energy. If he draws a Floatstone, he takes this game.
2 cards.
Oh, here we go. Does Adam Hawkins draw one of his remaining float stone? If he does, he'll take game 2, and you see him shrugging there like, that's all I got. Let's do it.
Hey, all he's got is almost good enough. He just needs that one card and 2 chances to find it.
Here we go. What is it going to be for Adam Hawkins? Will he find the game-winning float stone?
He does not. Okay.
Disappointing.
Stephane doesn't necessarily have the win here. However, he does need a Guzma and a double colorless. Or a Guzma and a float stone.
He actually needs quite a bit. He would need...
No, it's more than just a Guzma and a double colorless.
Yeah. He would need a choice band as well.
Well, bring up the Marshadow for the 2 prizes immediately. It is only 150, so yeah, with the full bench, the Guzma, the double colorless, and the choice band, he's got the game.
And Stephane's hand off that end is pretty good. He drew a Tapu Lele GX and a Guzma and a Kartana GX that he can immediately discard to trade. Here comes the first trade. If Stephane finds a choice band, I think we're going to see him advance to the finals here.
Doesn't look like he's got one now. He has the Guzma.
Yeah, he's got the energy to retreat. He has one more trade.
Trade away that Ultra Ball. Yeah.
Here we go. Does he find a choice band? No.
Oh, this gives Adam Hawkins one more turn.
Unbelievable.
And
Both
Stephane
players.
He doesn't want to knock out this Malamar. He wants to try and strand it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think Stephane wants to attack here. Both players had an opportunity to win the game, and both players missed. Probably more painful for Stephane as he traded twice, drew 4 extra cards, still couldn't find what he needed.
Oh, yeah. Adam needed like 4 cards there and still was only 1 off.
Yeah.
Finding that float stone off of his own end to 2. He was very, very close, but it was much more likely for Stephane to find what he needed. Just a single choice band to go with the Guzma in hand.
Yeah, I was actually wondering why Stephane didn't Wonder Tag earlier. It lets you take a card out of your deck, so it improves your odds of drawing a choice band. And now that we look through his deck, I don't know
Choice bands does he even have left?
Does he have any?
There's one.
Yeah, there it is. So he does have the game-winning card in his deck. Yeah, I thought he was just going to Wonder Tag, take out like a Bridget or something, a card to not only trade away, but take out of your deck so that it improves your odds of drawing it. But looks like he had something else in mind, and this is going to be down to the wire.
Okay, retreat that Zoroark and pull up the Garbotoxin Garb, because this way if Adam Hawkins has the float stone, it's not just automatically game.
Yep.
Now it needs to be the Guzma.
Oh, what did he get it?
That's an energy.
Oh,
that's
my
the
goodness.
Guzma.
He top decks the Guzma. Adam Hawkins
my goodness.
steals game number 2. Oh, wow.
By the skin of his teeth, he won that game. I thought for sure when he did not end into that float stone, that one was going over to Stephane. But Adam Hawkins manages to take game number 2. He's going to tie up this series. Stephane gets to go first, however, in game number 3. And it does seem like Pokemon TCG tends to live or die by who goes first in game number 3.
Yeah, we'll see, though. Adam's just happy there is a game 3.
Oh, yeah.
Me too. I wanted to see another game.
These guys, I'll tell you, this is good stuff.
All right, here we go. One final game between these 2 European players. Cora, I think I already know the answer, but if you had to guess, who do you think is going to win in game 3?
Stephane. I do think it is going to be Stephane. The trend that I've really seen emerging over a lot of the matches today is the player who wins game number 1 tends to take game number 3, just because of the way that getting to choose whether or not you would like to go first, spoiler alert, you would. It tends to favor the player who wins game number 1, but that is just kind of the nature of a single deck format.
Yeah. But did you consider if you go second, you can attack first?
Oh my goodness. All right, wait, let me run some numbers.
All right, get back to me.
I like it. I think we should test it.
Okay. All right, game number 3. Hopefully this will be a classic as we head into the finals. The winner here This one game. They will go to the finals and play tomorrow to determine the international champion here in Columbus, Ohio, the North America region. Adam Hawkins and Stephane Ivanoff, here we go. Game 3, who's it going to be? The Zoroark Garbodor deck from Stephane or the Malamar deck from Adam? Looks like Stephane is taking the early lead. Drops down the turn 1 Bridget.
I would love to see a Malamar deck make it through to the finals, especially in a field that is so heavily filled with Buzzwole. But no Buzzwole made it here to the top 8 today. And Adam Hawkins does still have a chance to advance, but you're absolutely correct. That early Bridget, without having to use Wonder Tag, is going to put Stephane in a great position right off the bat.
Looks like it. He's going to be able to set up probably 3 Zorua on the first turn. Yep, there we go. This is where the difference between going first and second is massive. If you're going second, imagine the last game where Adam already had a Mewtwo GX and a Psychic Energy on it by the time you took your first turn. It meant your Trubbish was not safe at all. And we saw exactly what Adam did. Turn 2, he played Guzma, knocked out a Trubbish. In that spot, you have to bridge it for a second Trubbish so that you can potentially have Garbotoxin still ready. When Stephane's going first, he can get Zorua, just get 3 of them, and go, all right, I'm going to set up all my trades and then worry about the Garbotoxin later.
I mean, that was the game-winning turn 1 for Adam in the last game, was because he had that Mewtwo GX so early. But now the Parallel City going to limit his bench size to 3. He can't even play the Bridget for its full potential if he had it this turn. So going to have to just Cynthia instead. And the Floatstone on the Trubbish, ready for a Garbodor. Stephane is off to the races, and things are looking quite nice. The only thing is he didn't have an energy to attach that turn, but, you know, maybe not even sure where he would want to put it at this point. Not so bad.
And he got the Parallel City down, which is huge. We've seen in both games 2 and 3, the player going first was able to play Parallel City and just completely constrain the options of their opponent. This does not look like a very good hand for Adam Hawkins. Might have to do the old attach and retreat to another Inkay, as we saw in game 1, and that's not a winning formula.
A classic play, but not what he wanted to see here after a very hard-fought game number 2. The first Zoroark does hit the field.
And we see a mysterious treasure from Stephane, and he does have a Tapu Lele GX in hand, so we're probably going to see just a Wonder Tag for a Cynthia or Professor Sycamore. And he's going to have a great second turn, probably drawing into whatever he needs.
I do wonder, though, what does he want off of this mysterious treasure? He's got the Lele already. If he goes for the Garbotoxin, Garb doesn't necessarily want to play it just yet because he just put his first Zoroark into play. Could grab the Trashlanche Garb while he's at it.
Grabs nothing.
Okay.
And I think that's smart. If you commit to Trashlanche too early, and then Adam somehow knocks out your Garbotoxin Garbodor, you don't have a Trubbish ready to evolve. So in this situation, even though it looks like, oh yeah, why wouldn't I grab a card and just evolve? Having the flexibility of staying at Trubbish is actually more important. Professor Sycamore here. And looks like Stephane might have found a double colorless energy, which means he's going to be able to ride his beating and take out one of those Inkay. And things are going downhill very quickly for Adam Hawkins.
What a disaster. The best possible start from Stephane, and Adam did not get what he needed this game. How can he come back from this early disadvantage? He does have a Malamar in play now. There's still no Garbotoxin active for Stephane, so he can utilize abilities.
Yeah, so that's the big thing. Stephane did not get Garbotoxin on that turn, so the door is open for Adam to at least get lucky here. If he can draw, I mean, he needs a lot.
Necrozma, second Malamar, a Psychic Energy.
It'd have to be like...
And a Floatstone? Yeah.
He would need to draw like Mysterious Treasure, a Psychic Pokemon he could discard, so then he could go get Marshadow, and like Max Elixir, Energy, Floatstone. That's all.
That's it.
Yeah.
Just those half a dozen cards.
Yeah. Alternatively, he could Hypnosis.
We saw that plan in game 1. We saw how that plan worked out in game 1. We saw game 2 when he never used hypnosis. Unfortunately, though, this is mirroring game 1 a little bit more closely.
Yeah, he does find the Marshadow, but not everything else to go with it. We're going to see him Psychic Recharge, 1 energy onto it, and this is a huge Hypnosis flip. Can that Zoroark GX wake up? Oh, it stays asleep.
That's a big deal. Big roll for Adam there.
So now Stephane's going to need to find a Guzma to get an attack off. Has Inkay done it again?
You know what? If all else fails, we can promote the Marshadow, and we can Hypnosis with the Inkay that's in the discard.
Now you're thinking.
We can Hypnosis with everything. Except Malamar. He's useless.
All right, so Stephane's going to get 3 trades to dig for a Guzma. That is number 1. Don't see a Guzma quite yet. Bench is full, so he cannot Wonder Tag.
Very likely that he's going to find that Guzma, however, with another couple of trades.
This is the 3rd one. I don't see a Guzma.
Can Field Blower the Parallel City. Discard 2 Pokemon on his bench, play the Parallel City, Wonder Tag with the Lele for the Guzma, and then play it.
I think that requires 2 Field Blowers. You have to Field Blower, Parallel to clear your bench, Field Blower
All right, well,
again.
now we can't do it.
Yeah.
Darn it.
But Inkay buys a turn again. That's the important thing. Garbotoxin also might be important.
Just slightly. Ever so slightly. We'll see if Adam can find his own Field Blower.
This is rough. Adam does not look like he has any supporter in his hand. Gonna take a look through his deck. Probably look for Mewtwo GX in this spot. I think his remaining cards are Max Elixir and Guzma. Going for Necrozma GX. Wonder what the plan is here. Oh, it looks like the card is actually Cynthia. That's much better than Guzma in this spot.
Oh, yes.
All right, now he's got some life. A Field Blower could potentially get him a knockout this turn.
Does he have any energy in the discard?
No, he Psychic Recharged the one he had last turn, but Adam has drawn a few miracles before. Can he find another one here?
Looking for Field Blower and maybe Ultra Ball to discard some energy.
Not quite.
Finds neither of those things. Does find another Malamar.
Yeah, just Hypnosis again. That's probably fine. Adam cheerfully says Hypnosis. And look at that. Stays asleep.
All right.
And Stephane has locked out his own trade, so unless he plays a Field Blower here to discard his own tool, he plays a Cynthia. He's not going to attack again. Inkay
Zoroark
MVP.
needed a break. It was tired. It's been a long couple of days. Just
Look, trading is hard
catch
work.
some Z's and it'll be back in a couple turns.
Yeah. I actually do think this has brought Adam back into the game. Those 2 turns of no attacking has given him some time to get some energy onto his Pokemon. And it seems silly, but those 2 Hypnosis attacks might have been the difference in this match.
Yeah, I mean, we joke about it, but getting to develop that Necrozma and the Marshadow on the board, getting to develop all of that free energy even without Psychic Recharge is absolutely game-changing here, giving Adam a flicker of hope in a game that was otherwise really kind of lost.
Professor Sycamore, if Adam can find a Field Blower here, he'll get a knockout with that Marshadow GX. Got 7 fresh cards. Woo,
He
last
does.
card.
The 7th card. Okay.
All right, we got a game, folks. Field Blower is going to take away the Parallel City and the Floatstone. You can see Stephane keeping track of item cards. There's now 4 in Adam's discard pile. And he's going to discard the Dawn Wings Necrozma GX so he gets a basic Pokemon into the discard pile so that he can use Marshadow GX to knock out this Zoroark GX. I'm really happy we actually got a game out of this.
This is awesome.
Praise be to Inkay.
Thank goodness. It would have been disappointing, to say the least, to have that awesome game 2 go to game 3 and have it fizzle out the way that it looked like it was going to. But a couple of really fortunate Inkay hypnosis rolls for Adam in this case was enough to buy him some time. And now it's looking like things are going to be much, much more interesting. Marshadow going into the active. That is going to be
Moon's Eclipse GX. Now that Marshadow is invulnerable, takes the lead and takes a 2-prize knockout. That's a huge swing in the game. And as we've seen, Stephane seems to be allergic to drawing Guzma. So that Marshadow might be safe.
The seasonal Guzma allergy is a killer. Let me tell you.
Yeah. It's a high ya boy count out there.
Ooh.
Allergy season. So Stephane, Stephane, he does have trades back online because Garbotoxin is no longer active. So he should be able to finally find a Guzma, but we'll see. Does have double Puzzle of Time in hand. Is there Guzma in the discard pile? I don't think there is.
Doesn't look like there is.
He's going to trade once again. Where is Guzma?
He's running 4 of them.
Mine's the
Tapulele and not Guzma.
Well, he can at least Wonder Tag for it now. There's no Garbotoxin to stop him.
Good point. Hands Hammer not going to do anything this game, so that'll be trade fodder.
And there it is, Guzma. Finally, Stephane able to pull it out of his deck. And he will be able to Trash-a-Lanche. What does he go after? There's actually only 4 item cards in the discard pile. If Stephane doesn't have a choice band, he won't be able to get the knockout on Necrozma GX, but
does he have it?
I'm going to guess, yeah, if he's doing that.
All right, that is more than enough. 80 damage from the Trash-a-Lanche. 110 with the choice band, times 2 for weakness. You're knocking out Necrozma GX all day, every day. And now Adam is left with just that Marshadow to really do the attacking, but he does have Necrozma GX in the discard pile at this point as well. And Stephane still has not put another tool card onto that Garbodor, but with the double puzzle for the Float Stone, I would think we're getting the Garbotoxin back in action this turn.
Sure looks like it. So Stephane making a power play here, getting the 2-prize knockout, getting Garbotoxin back online, and boy, Adam really could use a field blower here. Even after buying 2 turns with Hypnosis, finding that field blower at the right time, Adam's going to need to trust his deck once more. Needs to find another field blower.
He does not have it, so he's going to have to go searching for it. Otherwise, this Marshadow just can't attack.
Yeah, he could have also gotten Mewtwo GX and then Max Elixir onto it to maybe go for a super absorption, but here we go.
Getting all 6 cards from hand.
Professor Sycamore once more. 7 cards, 7 opportunities to find a field blower. 5, 6, 7.
Is that it?
No.
Wait, we didn't see the 7th card. No, it's a Float Stone. I saw green and I got excited. Darn it.
So close.
Okay, so maybe he can pull this Marshadow out of the active and try to search that field blower again next turn, hope that it doesn't get knocked out. He does have Rescue Stretcher as well, so we could pull up something from the discard pile. He's got the Necrozma and the Dawnwings Necrozma in there.
Something like an Inkay, perhaps?
Well, Inkay, yes. How lucky is he really feeling here?
Actually going to go for Giratina.
Okay.
Don't think he's going to get a Shadow Claw going anytime soon. But interestingly enough, there's only 6 items in his discard pile, and Giratina has 130 HP, so currently Trash-a-Lanche cannot knock it out.
That is important. Stephane can't get an easy knockout here. So can he manipulate the board state and change things around?
At the very least, you got to give it to Adam. Things have not always gone his way, but he's pulling out all the stops here. He's doing every single little thing he can to not lose this game. And I mean, it's given him a chance. It's not a good chance, but it's better than no chance.
It's important to know that it's really difficult to find those outs.
Yeah.
When it looks like all the cards are stacked against you, you don't have what you need for your A game plan. You know, he's gone to Plan Z several times in this series.
We do see another field blower from Stephane, though. That's going to put the 7th item card into the discard pile. That means Giratina is in range now for Trashalanche. And Parallel City is gone, so Stephane has an open bench spot again. Means he can get a Trubbish down and set up back-to-back Trashalanche turns.
Once again, Adam Hawkins is firmly on the back foot.
And Stephane finds a Parallel City of his own.
Go ahead and put that down. Adam doesn't have to discard anything, but he also cannot play anything onto the bench now. And without that field blower, Marshadow cannot attack.
And you got to wonder at this point, what can Adam draw to get out of this? It certainly has to involve a field blower. Well, maybe that Max Elixir isn't bad. Can go for Mewtwo GX and power up for a super absorption. The big problem is he knows there's another Trubbish on the bench, so one more Garbodor with a unit energy means Trashalanche and Stephane is heading to the finals, but Adam also knows
can't play around it.
Got nothing else to do.
Just has to hope that Stephane doesn't have it.
Yeah.
But with 2 Zoroark on the bench that can't actually trade because of that Garbodor, it is going to be less likely that Stephane has what he needs in this scenario.
All right, here comes the Professor Sycamore, drawn 7 cards. All he needs is a Psychic Energy. He did the hard part. He got the Max Elixir.
There's the field blower. A little bit late.
So in this spot, Adam would have preferred to just draw Psychic Energy.
Yeah.
If he has to field blower to get this knockout, then Stephane gets trade back. And that just makes it more likely that he finds another Trashalanche Garbodor. But at this point, this opens up a play for double Psychic Recharge, and you can actually attack with Malamar and get the knockout onto that Garbodor. Then you don't have to put a 2-prize Pokemon in danger.
But that Adam still needs to take 2 knockouts to win the game.
Yeah, but it's something he can do to wipe a Trashalanche Garbodor off the board and not immediately lose to another one. We'll see if Adam finds yet another wacky way to stay in this game. He's attacked with Inkay many times. He sent out a Giratina. Are we going to see the attack from Malamar? I think it's his only option.
It's a 60 damage attack for a couple of Psychic Energy, but will be enough to knock out this Garb.
I think, oh, nope, he's going to go for the Mewtwo.
Or will he go for the Marshadow? He's got something.
All right.
Okay.
Mewtwo or bust. Here we go. Knockout. And does Stephane find a Trashalanche Garbodor? Rescue Stretcher. There it is. Stephane Ivanoff will advance to the finals. And he is our first finalist here at the North American International Championships. What a match in that top 4.
That was a fantastic series. We saw Stephane